Scope, who am I speaking to?
My name is Leslie.
Leslie.
Yes.
Major elections, Super Bowl of all elections, next Wednesday, November 6th. President Obama, the incumbent, versus Mitt Romney, the challenger. Where are you going?
I'm going Obama.
And why?
Because he's a real candidate.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And what do you like about Obama's agenda in the first 4 years? What can you tell me that you
In the
like?
first 4 years,
Yes.
that just passed, I think that his success with international politics, I actually think that was really good. I think some people say that he was going on this apology tour, but I actually think it was the right thing. I think that he knows how to be diplomatic. That's like the word that people use, diplomacy, and I think he's really good at that. I think some people undervalue it, but I think he did a really good job. And I think the things that were like not as successful, like with the economy, I just think that I was already on its way before he was in the presidency. So I'm not quite sure that his agenda could be held accountable for that.
And now we have a big Senate race too, the incumbent Scott Brown versus Elizabeth Warren.
Yes.
Where are you leaning?
Elizabeth Warren.
And why?
I mean, just because my roommate talked to me a lot about her. He actually knew her at the Harvard College, and but she's just much more hardworking from what I can tell. And in terms of her policies, I think that they're a little bit more in touch with what is needed right now.
One question.
Sure.
Medical marijuana, yes or no?
Legalize it? You mean I am not sure. I'm voting for Minnesota, and that's not something I have to vote for. So I have no opinion on it right now.
Okay, thank you for your opinion.
You're welcome.
And you, my friend, who are you?
No comment.
No comment? So you're not going to vote?
I am, but no comment.
Okay, thank you. You're entitled. Thank you.
Yeah, take care.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. And some people have an opinion. She had a lot to say. She had her absentee ballot. She raised it up. She showed you. She's excited. She's fired up, like Obama says, and she was an Obama supporter. And she was fired up. Hey, guys, are you going to vote? Yeah? Who are you? This is Scope. This is my cameraman, Simon McDonough. I'm Clyde. And what's your name, sir?
My name's John.
Yeah, and John, major elections, Super Bowl of all elections, President Obama, the incumbent, versus Mitt Romney, the former governor. Where you leaning?
So I've already voted, actually. I voted absentee in Ohio.
Okay, and who'd you vote for?
I voted for Barack Obama.
And why'd you vote for Obama?
Because I don't think Mitt Romney is really in touch with the common man.
Okay, and Senate race, Elizabeth Warren versus the incumbent Scott Brown. Where'd you going?
Well, I don't vote in that because I voted in Ohio, so
that's right, that's
I don't have a say in that.
Right, well, we have are you for the use of medical marijuana? Because that's on the ballot up here, and that seems to be a major question. And as I went along, me and Simon, in the last hour and a half, a lot of people undecided, a lot of people just don't want to talk about it. How do you feel about it?
Quite honestly, I don't really have that great an opinion on it. I mean, I see, yeah, if some people need it for medical reasons, but I think it's probably better to make sure it doesn't get out of hand and to put limits on it than to make it available just sort of indiscriminately to anybody who might have any sort of medical reason. I think something like that could get out of hand, so it's better to, I think, keep a little more of a tight hold on that than to let it.
One more question. 22 of the last major elections to elect President of the United States, Ohio played a big role, and they said the person who won Ohio, the candidate who won Ohio, won the election. So how do you think the people in Ohio, who they'll back, Romney or the incumbent President Obama, in your opinion?
I can't say. The town that I'm from, I know I think 2 elections ago with Bush and Kerry, just my town, Kerry won by 6 votes. So I think it'll probably be really tight again. Yeah, I can't give you that prediction. I mean, I just voted the way that I thought it should go, and we'll see what the rest of my fellow Ohioans do.
Thank you for your good opinions.
No problem. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, man with strong opinions. He's actually from Ohio, and Ohio's playing a huge role in this election. They said that out of the last 22 major elections to elect the President of the United States, if you didn't win Ohio, you didn't win. How you doing, my brother? Are you voting, my brother?
No.
You're not voting? You're not part of the process? You're not a registered voter. And you got that beautiful child in... Wow. I can't believe it. You're not voting? Okay, okay, my brother. Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, we're going to walk down to, which I call Elizabeth Warren country. And this is a bookstore down the end of this block here, and it's Elizabeth Warren country. That's what I call it. How you doing, my friend? Are you voting, my friend?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, can I ask you a question, my friend? Major election, Super Bowl of all elections. The incumbent President Obama versus Mitt Romney, former governor. Where are you leaning?
Oh, I'm leaning Obama.
And why?
Because, well, first of all, he's done a good job, and I don't trust Mitt Romney.
Okay.
That's the bottom line. I don't trust him.
Okay. And what about Senator of the United States, the incumbent Scott Brown, Elizabeth Warren? Where are you leaning?
I'm leaning Warren. I followed her over the years, and she's been really strong at consumer advocacy and the like. So I like her.
One question: medical marijuana, yes or no?
Yes.
And why?
I think it's sort of irrelevant. I think the drug war has failed, and we ought to get some more rational policies around it.
All right, thank you very much for your opinions.
All right, thanks.
Thank you. Yeah, we're moving along, and I told you we'll get some good opinions out of here in Porter Square Mall, because this is Elizabeth Warren country. It really is. I mean, she's heavy around here. All her volunteers, all her workers are out here working diligently hours and hours and hours at times, campaigning for Elizabeth Warren for senator. This is her country. I call it Warren country, Porter Square. And we're going to pass the famed bookstore that's been supporting her heavily, where all her troops gather and plan their day. They're every day planning on campaigning for Elizabeth Warren for a senator of the state of Massachusetts. And she gets my vote, too, as well. How you doing, ma'am? Okay. Yeah, we're walking down. We're walking down. A road I walk a lot when I'm out exercising, when I'm out doing my 5-10 mile walk. I come through the famed Porter Square Mall. That's what I call it. Where everybody's friendly, it seems like. Everybody has a political opinion on every issue or subject that pertains to the policies that make up Cambridge, that people live their lives under. This is where they all meet, too, in this area. How you doing, ma'am? Ma'am, can I ask you a question about the election? No, I guess not. She moved pretty quickly. Some people move pretty fast when it comes to asking a political viewpoint or who they're voting for. And some don't, some do. They're entitled. You can see those who shy away. They may not be the ones that are voting, and maybe, I don't know, maybe it's some of the undecided. Some people just shy away from a camera, like it's going to take a big bite out of them. I love a camera. When I see a camera, I can't wait to get in front. That's when I get really motivated, when I see a camera. How you doing, ma'am? Are you voting, ma'am? Do you mind if I ask you a question about the election?
Sure.
Ma'am, huge election, Super Bowl of all politics, Wednesday night, November 6th. The incumbent President Obama trying to maintain that seat in the White House, and the Romney, the opponent. Where are you leaning?
I'm going with Obama.
And why?
Oh, I can't stand the thought of having Romney in there.
Yeah.
I don't know much about him. I haven't been in Massachusetts for a long time. But he makes me really nervous.
And then there's a big Senate race, too, as well. The incumbent Scott Brown versus Elizabeth Warren. Where are you leaning?
I actually live in Washington State,
Okay.
so I'm leaning Democrat all the way with that. But I did vote for one Green Party candidate.
Okay, who was that?
I don't remember. It was the choice between Democrat or Green, and I went with the Green.
And there's one huge question up here. I know you're not a registered voter here in Massachusetts, but there's one huge question. Maybe I can get your opinion. I don't know how the laws are, the bylaws in your state where you come from. You know what they dictate in terms of this question I'm about to ask you, or this issue that's huge, where a lot of people seem undecided and don't want to talk about the use of medical marijuana. Yes or no?
I think they definitely should make that legal. Definitely.
And why?
I just think it helps. I had a relative that had cancer, and that was the only thing that helped her not be nauseous. And after the chemo, it helped her get her appetite back. It helped her get through the chemo when she went through it. So I really think it's a medicinal herb that should be available like any other medicinal herb.
Thank you for your opinions.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Yeah. My friend, are you voting? I don't want to disturb you if you don't want to be. No, thank you. Okay, thank you. rallies and stuff. I don't think they're going to allow us in here with the camera, but this seems where all her troops, they gather and everything, and she's supported well. This is the Porter Square bookstore. This is where I come all the time, and I see all her campaign workers up with the signs and everything. Vote for Elizabeth Warren. They congregate here as well and plan their day on what parts of the community that they're going to go out and work. And this is where they come. Very interesting place, and a lot of people meet here. It's like a meeting house, too, as well. A lot of diversity here. A lot of diversity. A lot of diversity. When you've been doing this for a while, you can look in the eyes of people and see those who want to really, give their opinions and want to let the public know that watches Cambridge Community Television where they're leaning toward in terms of the election. Because some people are very proud voters and they don't mind giving their opinions. I have a lot of respect for that. To give a strong opinion, look me in the eye and let me know where you're going. I don't, whether you're a conservative or a liberal, it doesn't make me a difference. But give a strong opinion. That way people know the pulse of the community and where people are leaning. And it seems like, Simon, it's been tight, neck and neck with this thing. And I'm an Obama back. I'm a little nervous about this. Maybe this wasn't a good idea for me. Maybe I'll shake over the next 10 days. I'll be just gyrating over the next 10 days, wondering what's going to happen. How you doing, my friend? How you doing, ma'am? You a registered voter?
I am.
Okay, can I ask you a question about the election? Okay, see, some people, they just don't want to talk about it. They walk pretty fast. You'll know right away. You'll know right away. Maybe they may be undecided, or maybe they're not going to vote at all. I don't know, but they walk away pretty fast. They let you know right away. As we go up and down the Porter Square Mall, trying to find somebody that will share their opinion with us in terms of voting. How you doing, my friend? Okay, my friend. How you doing, ma'am? How you doing? Are you voting? Oh, you do? You vote? Can I ask you a question about the election? Just one simple question. They asked you who you're supporting in terms of the election, the incumbent President Obama or the opponent Mitt Romney.
I'd rather not. Cambridge Community Television. I'd rather not answer.
You'd rather not answer? So you're not a registered voter?
I am.
Yeah? And how do you feel about the use of marijuana? Are you going to vote yes or no for that question?
I'd rather not answer these.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. We see a little dog fight going on here. Maybe a male and a female. How you doing, my friend? Can I ask you a question about the election? Do you mind?
If it's quick.
Okay, it's quick. Huge election, Super Bowl elections, November 6th, Wednesday. We all know that. Where are you leaning, Obama or the opponent, Mitt Romney?
I'm more interested in Obama. I think he's more responsible.
Yeah. And for what are the reasons where you vote for Obama?
Well, I think he's proven himself. Romney, I think, has only held one executive office. He did okay, but it was a long time ago, and he wasn't great.
Okay. For the Senate, Scott Brown, the incumbent, versus Elizabeth Warren. Where you leaning?
I prefer Elizabeth Warren. I think she's a better replacement for Kennedy.
Okay. And the medical marijuana seems to be people have a struggle with this one. Yes or no?
Honestly, I haven't thought that one over. I still need to figure that one out.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Testing. Okay. Wow, this is going to be rather interesting. Now I'm invading someone's privacy inside their vehicle. Who am I speaking to?
Maria.
Maria. Major Super Bowl of all elections, the national election, the incumbent President Obama versus the opponent, former Governor Mitt Romney. Where you leaning?
I'm born a Republican and I stay a Republican, but I do love my country and I hope it changes for the better, whoever gets in. And I would like to see more morality going on because there is none. Too many issues going on. It's really sad. We have such a beautiful country, such a wonderful country, and I think it's about time we love one another. And whoever get in, may the Lord bless them. So this country of ours would be where it's supposed to, with the way our fathers started off.
Okay, so I take it you're voting for Mitt Romney.
Because I'm a Republican, dying Republican, so that's why. But if Mr. Obama gets in, may God bless him, and hope he does the right for the country. That's all we care.
Major Senate race coming up, too, as well. The incumbent, Scott Brown versus Elizabeth Warren. And where are you leaning on that one?
Scott Brown, 100%. Elizabeth Warren, she just lied from the beginning. When a person tells you she's an American Indian, I mean, beside the other things that she did, I mean, she's a smart woman, don't get me. But lying that she got American Indian heritage, come on. Where is her character? It just gives you doubts a bit. It's just pretty damn sad that they want to get to the White House and that's about it, not care for the people. Let's start thinking about the people that work. I work 2 jobs to survive, to pay my rent, and to just make it. So, I mean, you know, you got to think of the people that work and not the rich people.
Okay, one question on the ballot. It seems like a lot of people have been struggling with this question. Simon would tell you as well, really. They have been struggling. Medical marijuana, yes or no?
Absolutely not, because I'm a nurse and I don't believe in it. That's just a bunch of bunk. There's more for the kids to get higher by the day if you can get, you know, like they do over always in Hungary or whatever the heck. And I think it's Holland that you go into a store and can get marijuana. That's not really 100% proof there's any medical history. I mean, the medical history is enough that they get enough pills to make it easy for the ones they suffer. So I don't approve of legalizing marijuana. I really don't.
Thank you for your strong opinions and allowing me to invade your vehicle.
That's all right. Thank you. It was nice talking to you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye-bye.
It's a pleasure.
Same here. Bye-bye.
As we make our way out of Porter Square Mall, and a strong opinion, strong, proud conservative. And it's a family tradition. She said it. And this is where a lot of people are going to vote, Simon, in terms of tradition. Those who voted Democrat for years, and it's been a family tradition, will continue. I don't know if that's a good thing, because I want to vote for the candidate I think is going to do the best job, whether he's a conservative or the Democrat. But I lean with Obama because I like what he's doing. I like trying to balance off, you know, America, the rich and the poor, the different classes. Let us work tougher together, because we've all been in this battle and we fought world wars together, regardless of what class we came from or what part of the rainbow we lie on. That's why I love President Obama. I really do. I really do, and I'm leaning that way. But her, she had strong conservative viewpoints, and I really respect her. She spoke out. She didn't shy away, and I respect her because she talked about tradition, and we talked about nepotism, and we talked about why things happen in America, and she was very outspoken and very proud that it's a tradition for her to vote conservative. And I respect different people's opinions. As we're going to make our way toward the famed historical Harvard Square, maybe we'll walk Brattle Street. We'll really make history today. The most famed street in Cambridge, Brattle Street, where Margaret Fuller, the great Margaret Fuller, once walked, and the First Lady of Women's Rights, Margaret Fuller. And she didn't live too far from here, maybe 3 miles from here, where the great Margaret Fuller house lies, but we don't have too much time to go there. I actually had the privilege of living a couple of blocks away from the great Margaret Fuller house, and now there's like a brick road. The brick streets are still there, sidewalks, and her name's engraved, and we're in a place where once her house stood, the Margaret Fuller house, and the First Lady of Women's Positive Politics. We call her Margaret Fuller. So we're going to work our way down to the famed Harvard Square, and hopefully we'll walk the famed Brattle Street. That's it for Porter Square and Scope. We're out at Harvard Square now. We're going to make our way over to the famed Harvard Coop. And in back, there's the famous Brattle Street. I don't know if we're going to make it down the famous brick sidewalk of Brattle Street, the famed Brattle Street, like I said earlier, where the great Margaret Fuller roamed, First Lady of Women's Rights, and the women's rights struggle that took the lead, Margaret Fuller. This is a place, too, where people play chess a lot, Simon. They come out here and you get some good chess games. We can walk a little closer as we walk down. They may not want to talk because they're involved in the game, so we're not going to disturb them. But I just want people to see this takes place out in front of Bon Payne and Harvard Square, these chess games. And it's really a social event here for a lot of these guys. They come here, they've been coming here for decades and participating in playing chess. It's a good recreational area for them. Nice trees and everything. They go and get their favorite beverages, and they have such a good time. It's such a gathering place for a lot of these chess players who have been playing here for years. As Scope takes you and keeps it so surreal, this is how we do. As we ask people their opinions on this most significant election, in my opinion, as me as a human being on this planet, is about upon us in the next 10 days. As we're about to maybe keep the incumbent Barack Obama in office, maybe elect Mitt Romney, which would be change, believe it or not. It would be change for a lot of Americans. We take our little walk, and this is what I like about Harvard Square. I like the brick roads. You know, I walked these roads as a youngster, and I still continue to walk them as almost a partial senior. A partial senior. Halfway there, halfway there, halfway there. Oh, yeah. The famed Harvard Square. Kids hang on the quads, they wear their hair blue, or they wear blonde like I like to do once in a while. But you find a lot of our creative young folks here, hanging out in the quad, musicians, entertaining the people as they gather here in this quad area, which is a very famous place for a lot of folks. They consider it that way. A lot of the artists who love to come play, perform here, and put on political demonstrations as well. It all takes place right in this area, right in this quad area. I've seen protests. I've seen people from Tibet come out and protest for their civil liberties and their rights in this quad. I've seen musicians perform, from guitarists to pianists to folk singers. I've seen it all here, to great R&B acts as well, in and outside the subway. But this area, there's always somebody entertaining. And two, it's a shelter too, a refuge for a lot of the people who are homeless as they sleep on these cinder blocks we see in front of us. And you see a lot of people with their belongings too as well. Harvard Square is not only an educational center, it's a safe haven for a lot of people. And like I said, it's shelter too for a lot of people too as well. And we can see right across the street here the famed Harvard Coop as we get closer to the trails of the great Margaret Fuller. Cambridge is such an historical place. It's been a safe haven for women for decades, where women felt their rights would be upheld and they'd be respected as they battled for equal rights and pay in their civil liberties. Cambridge was a leader in that here in America, Cambridge. And this too is the famed Harvard Square out-of-town news, where a lot of people come to get their out-of-town newspapers, all the students and people who live and want to know what's going on back home. As this election 10 days upon us, the most historical election in the history of this country is taking place in 10 days in our great country called America. You can see the students, and as we walk a little further down past the out-of-town ticket newspapers here, out-of-town newspaper stand, you can see across the street, you can see Harvard Yard. But I don't think they're going to allow us in there. They'll move us pretty quickly out of there. There's no cameras allowed in Harvard Yard. But there it is, right across the street, Harvard Yard. See the cyclists coming out, or students entering, in and out. This is what they call it, the Harvard Yard. Harvard Yard. But we're going to go across the street here. We're going to ask a few people about their choices for this Super Bowl of elections that's upon us in 10 days as we walk toward the coup. You always have to battle traffic here. People are very courteous, though. They allow people to cross. Always a lot of traffic, with all the student traffic as well as the Kansas-Virginians too, coming back and forth, coming home, going out to work and coming home from work, and those who just work in this area, this business district, not just an educational center, a lot of small boutiques and stores, as you'll see as we walk around Harvard Square. I guess we're able to pass now. Harvard Square is a very interesting place, and I've always loved Harvard Square, the people, the diversity. You meet so many good people here in Harvard Square, so open-minded, so creative, and they always have opinions, so hopefully we'll find some people that won't be afraid to share their opinion on which way they're swaying toward in this major election that's upon us. Maybe we'll ask somebody coming toward us, as many people headed our way. Some people, you'll be surprised, they'll walk by us like earlier, and some people will, give us their opinion, which is very valuable to the viewers, because they want to get the pulse on what's going on in Cambridge and which way they're leaning. With homegrown product Elizabeth Warren running for senator, trying to oust the incumbent Scott Brown. Very, very important. Very, very important election upon us. We'll see if we can get somebody to stop and share. How you doing, ma'am? Are you going to vote in the election, ma'am? Yeah, you going to vote? Yeah, can I ask your opinion about it? Oh, sure. Ma'am, which way are you leaning? Are you going to go with the incumbent, President Barack Obama, or are you going to go with the opponent, Mitt Romney? Where are you leaning?
Absolutely Romney.
Romney, and why Romney?
Because he's a great guy, and he will do beautiful things for the country.
Okay, and there's a Senate race too. Elizabeth Warren, homegrown, against the incumbent Scott Brown. Where you leaning?
Well, I'm not from Boston, so I cannot answer that question. I'm not familiar with these people.
Well, can I ask you one question? There's a huge question up here. You can give an opinion. A lot of people are undecided, and they struggle with this. Medical marijuana, yes or no?
No, no marijuana at all. I'm too conservative.
Thank you. Enjoy your stay. Yeah. Yeah. She had a lot to say. Simon, did you notice how she just pulled away from the, I don't know if it was the husband or the friend. Hope it was the husband. Very aggressive lady. But she spoke her thoughts, and she wanted to express them. And she surely did in such an eloquent way. But I noticed how she aggressively moved, but, you know, she wanted to get her opinions on camera. How you doing, folks? Are you going to vote in the election? Are you going to vote? Oh, we got you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah. Yeah. Harvard Square. Harvard Square. You know, it's easy to walk around in Cambridge. We actually interviewed those folks, a great couple, and but we're trying to get some more opinions here on people who are going to vote in the election. How you doing, ma'am? How you doing? Hey, guy, are you going to vote in the election, sir? Okay, we're moving out a little bit further. Maybe this gentleman will serve his opinion. Are you going to vote, sir? Yeah. In the major election coming up? Totally. Yeah, which way are you leaning? Are you going to go with the incumbent, Barack Obama, or are you going to go with Mitt Romney, the opponent?
This is great. So I'm going to go with the Libertarian Party, Gary Johnson, because I like his views on social issues, ending drug wars and wars overseas. And he's very fiscally responsible and trying to take care of getting rid of that huge deficit that we're rocking out on right now. Okay. So I'm going with Gary Johnson, Libertarian candidate from New Mexico.
Okay, and what about for the Senate? Scott Brown, the incumbent, or Elizabeth Warren?
Ooh. So I was, all right, so my problem with Elizabeth Warren recently has been that every time I go on YouTube, there's like a 30-second YouTube video that you can't skip, and it's all about like how Scott Brown's just bad, and that's really annoying to watch, so I don't really want to vote for her. Scott Brown's actually been very consistent on his voting, and he has gone bipartisan in a lot of issues, so I might go Scott Brown. I really haven't decided. I'm not a huge fan of either, though there's particular things from both candidates that I'm a fan of. Haven't really made up my mind between Scott Brown and Elizabeth Warren yet. On civil issues, I'm a larger fan of Elizabeth Warren. On fiscal issues, I'm a bigger fan of Scott Brown.
Okay, one question it seems like a lot of people have a struggle with, yes, and some answered, had no problem with it. Medical marijuana, yes or no?
Oh, of course. I mean, it literally helps people who are sick. If it has a scientific medical value, I don't see the point of saying no to anyone who it would help. Like, you're literally just denying care. That's all it is.
Thanks for your opinion.
My pleasure. I hope you guys have a good day.
Thank you, my friend. A man didn't have a problem hearing all his opinions. How you doing, ma'am? Are you going to vote, ma'am? Yes. Who are you leaning toward, the incumbent, President Obama, or Mitt Romney, the opponent?
100% Obama.
Yeah, and why Obama?
I'm sorry, I cannot be God, but Obama is the president.
Okay, okay, all right. She had an opinion. It's just Obama. Sir, are you going to vote in the election? I am. Yeah, and who are you going to? My show's called Scope. It's aired on Cambridge Community Television, 13 years. Radio and television producer and host, and my good friend Simon McDonough, the best cameraman that I ever worked with. And he's also a cable caster and an entertainer, an actor, and a teacher as well, educator. So, sir, where you lean in this major election? The incumbent President Obama or former Governor Mitt Romney?
I'm not leaning. I'm strongly in favor of the president. I happen to think this guy is one of the 4 best presidents we've ever had.
Okay, and why is that?
For one, he's smart as heck. 2, I think he calls him as he sees him. I think he saved.
Excuse me, sir. Please, excuse me.
I think he saved the country from a full-blown depression, etc. So I'm a big backer of his.
Okay, the Senate race, the incumbent, Scott Brown versus Elizabeth Warren. Where you leaning?
Elizabeth Warren all the way. The president is going to need at least a Democratic Senate to back him up. The present Republicans are doing everything they can to stop government completely by doing such things as not confirming presidential appointees, whether it's for various courts or even subsecretaries of various agencies. So I think we got to hold the Senate, and Elizabeth Warren also will fight for consumers.
Okay, one question a lot of people have been struggling with. Some didn't mind answering it outright. Medical marijuana, yes or no?
One of my classmates says yes, so yes on medical marijuana.
Thank you, my friend.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Yeah. Yeah, one of his classmates says yes, he walks by. A lot of people have struggled with this medical marijuana thing, so I don't know if that's going to get by, but I think that's going to be a struggle, just like it is with who's going to be the president, next president of the United States. I think that's going to be a tight issue too as well. So the medical marijuana thing, a lot of people, some people don't want to talk about it. Some people just have a problem with it, one way or the other. You either say yes or a no. It's a yes or a no. You would think, you know, since this has been on the memorandum before, that you would think a lot of people would have more of a defined decision on that. But I guess not. I saw a lot of people still struggling. They struggled the first time. It was a question on the ballot, and they're struggling again with it this time. So, you know, that's an amazing to me. It really is. Hi, guys. Are you guys going to vote in the major election? Yeah? And who are you voting for? Obama. Okay. Obama voters. They didn't want to stop, but they voiced their opinion. Obama. President Obama. Yeah. Obama. How you doing? Maybe we can get him on camera. Maybe. How you doing, ma'am? Are you gonna vote in the major election?
Yes, I am.
Who are you voting for? Obama? Okay. Okay. Okay, and Biden. The lady says voice Obama and Biden. Some like to walk by and voice their opinion. I can tell they're in a hurry. It's about that time, about rush hour, and we're about done too, wrapping this thing up too. It's been a great day, beautiful day. God held the weather up for myself and Simon. And Simon, I applaud him for such a great job. Miracles always happen when I work with Simon, and beautiful things. And that's what makes it so beautiful, doing things like this. Great chemistry, and we had great chemistry amongst the people who volunteered to give their opinions this morning here on Scope, and this afternoon too as well. It's been great. It's been great. Just walking the community. First we were in Central Square, and then we went to Porter Square, and now we're in Harvard Square, just wrapping things up, just walking. Just walking, talking, engaging, trying to find out the pulse of Cambridge on how they feel about this major election, which is so huge, you know, because you're talking about legislation, you're talking about bills, you're talking about policy, things that are going to affect families for years. 40 years of politics at stake here, whether we turn back the pages or whether we make new pages. It's a very significant election, very, very significant. And we're going to try to get a couple more people's opinion. And then we're going to try to wrap this thing up. I think Simon's hungry, I'm hungry, and we're both a little tired and battle-weary. How you doing, gentlemen? Are you going to vote in the election coming up, sir? Okay, okay. Undecided, I guess. How you doing, people? Are you going to vote in the major election coming up November 6th, my friend? Of course. Did I ask your opinion about it? Which way you leaning, for the incumbent President Obama or for the opponent, Governor Romney? We're from Scope, Cambridge Community Television, 13 years, host and producer of radio, independent filmmaker, radio, television. Simon McDonough, my cameraman.
Yeah, well, we're voting for Romney.
You vote for Romney?
Yes.
And for what reason?
Because I think Obama's the worst president we've ever had, and he's destroyed the country.
Okay, my friend. And for Senator, Elizabeth Warren or the incumbent Scott Brown?
We're not from Massachusetts. We're from Illinois.
Okay, the medical marijuana thing, people up here struggle with. What do you think about medical marijuana? Should it be yes or no?
My gut reaction is no, but I don't know much about it because it's not been an issue in Illinois.
Thank you for being a gentleman and giving me some time.
Thank you.
Yeah. A lot of people, they have diverse opinions, and this is what it's all about. This is why I like doing this. I like people to be able to feel free and feel strong in their opinion, like this gentleman. How you doing, sir? A nice suit jacket. Are you going to vote in the major election, sir? May I ask your opinion? Okay, sir, the incumbent, Barack Obama, the president, do we put him back in office? Or you're leaning toward Mitt Romney, the opponent?
Obama all the way.
And why Obama?
Because he's the best president since Lincoln, and because Romney is a menace.
Okay, what about for Senator? The incumbent, Scott Brown, or Elizabeth Warren?
Oh, Elizabeth Warren all the way.
Oh, yeah? Okay, and the medical marijuana thing, yes or no?
I don't know about that.
That seems to be the consensus.
I don't know enough about it.
Okay, thank you, my friend.
But some are going to chase me for what I said about Romney, but I think he is a menace.
I love your suit jacket, your sport.
Thank you.
Okay. We'll get a couple more people. We'll make our way back, I guess. We'll make our way back. I wanted to go down Brattle Street, but it's a little further away, and we're both a little tired right now. I'm a little battle weary, I would say. It hasn't been a battle at all. It's been actually a glorious day with a lot of very, very good opinions on who a lot of people think are going to win this thing, whether it's for Senator Brown or Warren, or whether it's President Obama or Mitt Romney going to go back in that White House. Neither? Yeah. Who should get in there, ma'am? Yeah.
Good question. How about Elizabeth Warren for president?
Elizabeth Warren for president? Yeah, we got to get it in the Senate first.
We got to get her. We're going to get her in the Senate.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Yeah, thank you. Elizabeth's making leaps. She's making leaps. And that's her opinion. She sees her maybe in the future as a presidential candidate. That's interesting. Very interesting. First, we have to get her into the Senate, though. And it's going to be a tough battle between her and Scott Brown, just like it's going to be between the incumbent President Obama and former Governor Mitt Romney. Both these races will go down the wire. And my opinion, I'll be watching from 7 to 11 because I don't expect to know the President of the United States. Some of my eyes are about ready to close, and normally that's about midnight. So hopefully I can know by 10 or 11 o'clock when I'm still awake. How you doing, guys? Are you guys going to vote in the election?
I'm 17.
Yeah? Are you? Of your age?
I missed it by 10 days.
You missed it by 10 days? Well, let me ask you a question as young people.
Sure.
How do you feel about America, in seeing you have parents and everything, maybe some with arthritis, and maybe some a little handicapped mentally, or maybe some other medical issues, and they rely on medical marijuana to comfort them and to relax them? How do you feel about the medical marijuana issue? Yes or no?
Yes and no. I think it should be used in certain cases, but I think if it was legalized, it would probably be abused.
Okay. And yourself?
To be honest, I think that as long as it's okay and as long as people don't get addicted to it and it's controlled, I think that it would be a helpful thing to some people.
Thank you for your opinions. You're welcome. No. It's always good to get young people's opinion. They're not eligible, they're not of age to vote, but they have an opinion because they have parents. And they know they suffer from arthritis and other rheumatoid ailments and maybe cancer. And maybe they find marijuana as a relief. I don't know. That's a tough one. And this has been the hardest question. Not who's going to win come the national election, who will be the next president, or will the president remain in office, or who will be the next senator. The toughest question today is about marijuana. A lot of people are undecided, and a lot of people just don't want to talk about it. As me and Simon get ready to wrap this thing up, and I think we're about done. And I hope you enjoy this. People's opinions are citizens of Cambridge, and a lot of people from out of town voted today on absentee ballots, and they continue to do so in the early election. And so this is a beautiful thing. But at least you get an idea on how tough a race this is going to be and how a lot of Americans are undecided, but they all want whoever gets elected to make a difference. This is what it's all about, and continue to make a difference and help get, and main thing, to jumpstart this economy and keep it going up in a positive way. That's the main thing a lot of Americans feel. And at this point, it seems like a lot of people made their decision, and it looks like it's going to be a tough race and too tough to call. So Scope wrapping this thing up with Simon McDonough, my cameraman. Simon wears many hats, great actor, entertainer, educator, just does it all. Cablecaster, weekly at Cambridge Community Television. I do a show there on Thursday night, 7 to 7:30. On Monday mornings, 10 to noon, a radio show. I simulcast, and I hope you enjoy what we brought you today. And we hope to bring you many other good things just like this. Involvement and community input. That's what we're about. Scope and Cambridge Community Television. Bye-bye. Have a great evening. We're out of here. Peace. And vote.